Welcome to The Siren's Cursed True Horror Story. The village of Roshanpur, a picture of rustic peace, was forever changed when the highway cut through its heart. This concrete artery brought with it not just the promise of progress, but a creeping shift in the village's very essence. Land prices along the highway skyrocketed, attracting wealthy developers from the city. One such developer, Mr. Aurora, a man of plump ambition, set his sights on a vast, overgrown plot. Mukhya ji, Mr. Aurora declared, gesturing grandly, "This land, it lies fallow. We will build a magnificent shopping complex here." Mukhya ji, his face a map of worry, sighed. "Leave it, Seth ji. That land, it is of no use, it is cursed." But Mr. Aurora only scoffed. "Cursed all the better then. What is useless to the village will be most useful to us." Ignoring the warnings, Mr. Aurora used his influence to secure the necessary permits. Soon the roar of machinery filled the air as a skeletal concrete behemoth began to rise from the dust. 50% of the construction was complete. Hordes of laborers toiled under the relentless sun, but as dusk settled, they would vanish, leaving the unfinished structure to the solitary vigil of Ram Singh, the night watchman. On a suffocatingly humid night around at 30 p.m., Ram Singh, a man hardened by years of solitary watches, was enjoying a beedi outside the half-built structure. Suddenly, an invisible breath seemed to snuff out his beedi. Startled, he scanned the gloom but saw no one. He dismissed it as a trick of the mind and lit another. Then it happened again, more forcefully. The beedi was snatched from his lips and sent skittering across the ground. A cold dread seeped into Ram Singh's bones. He wiped sweat from his brow, his eyes wide with a burgeoning fear. Still nothing. No one. His hand instinctively went to his worn whistle, blowing a shrill blast. He began pacing rhythmically, striking his lathi against the ground, a desperate attempt to ward off the creeping fear. He strode towards the building, the whistle wailing, the lathi thudding. A chilling thought solidified in his mind. Someone is inside. The building was a labyrinth of shadows. As Ram Singh advanced his torch beam, a solitary spear of light, he began to see it, a fleeting shadow darting with impossible speed from column to column. Sweat drenched his shirt. He knew with a certainty that curdled his blood that this was no human presence. This was something else, something paranormal. Suddenly, an invisible rope seemed to tighten around him, binding him, squeezing the air from his lungs. Ram Singh tried to move, to cry out, but he was paralyzed. His entire lower body went numb. Then a horrific stench assaulted his nostrils like rotting marshland mixed with cloying decay. He felt a hot breath against his face, a rank animalistic exhalation. Something terrible was close, too close. He could feel its immense, suffocating weight, but no sound would escape his throat. A guttural growl, deep and chilling, reverberated in his ears. From the inky blackness, a massive dark silhouette began to solidify before him. In terrifying moments, a monstrous creature stood there. Ram Singh's eyes, wide with sheer terror, remained fixed on the horror. From its body, long, sinuous tendrils, like the roots of some ancient dark plant, hung loosely. As he watched, these tendrils lengthened with alarming speed, coiling around his body, tightening, crushing. Ram Singh's shriek echoed through the cavernous building. Then silence. Utter, profound silence. The next morning, the first rays of sun cast long, accusing shadows across the construction site. The laborers arrived, their chatter dying into shocked whispers. On the unfinished roof of the building, Ram Singh's brutally disfigured corpse lay sprawled, his body contorted, his face frozen in a mask of unspeakable horror. "I told you, Seth ji." Mukhya ji's voice, usually calm, was now frantic. "This place is not fit for anything. It is cursed. There is still time. Run away. Save your lives." Mr. Aurora, still reeling from the shock, scoffed. "What foolishness are you speaking? There is no such thing as cursed or blessed land. Someone must have murdered Ram Singh using your superstitions as a cover. This is a police matter." Millions of rupees were invested in the building. The terrified laborers were reluctant to continue. To bolster their confidence, Mr. Aurora declared he would spend the night at the site, accompanied only by his younger brother. That night, the two brothers were alone. Midnight chimed, and still everything remained eerily normal. A smug satisfaction began to settle over Mr. Aurora. Suddenly, a potent, cloying scent of water lilies wafted through the air, intensely permeating the building. "Where is this strong smell coming from?" Mr. Aurora muttered, frowning. "Water lilies only grow in water, and there is none for miles. I will check inside." He grabbed his flashlight and stepped into the shadowy interior. At the same moment, his younger brother outside caught a fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure darting behind the building. He crept stealthily towards the back. What he saw sent a jolt of fear through him. Mukia G, surrounded by occult paraphernalia and offerings, chanting in a low rhythmic drone. "So it was you behind all this?" Mr. Aurora's brother hissed, confronting the Mukia. "You killed Ram Singh, did not you?" Mukiaji flinched, his face pale. "Sir, you misunderstand. I'm not here to practice black magic, but to try and save you from the impending doom. He has returned. Now he will spare no one." Meanwhile, inside the building, Mr. Aurora's flashlight beam illuminated something even more disturbing: clumps of water, hyacinths and puddles of water everywhere. "How did this plant get here?" Mr. Aurora whispered, bewildered. "And all this water, surely it is someone's prank. Who is here? Show yourself." As if in answer, the same tendrilled, horrifying creature that had claimed Ram Singh materialized before him. Its long, grotesque tongue flickered in the air, tasting the fear. A scream, raw and visceral, tore from Mr. Aurora's throat. In the next instant, something rope-like wrapped around his body. He collapsed, thrashing violently. A suffocating sensation overwhelmed him, as if he were submerged in water, a heavy stone tied to his body, dragging him down. He struggled, desperate, until finally his struggle ceased. Choking, drowning on dry land, Mr. Aurora succumbed to a horrifying, impossible death. The next morning, when Mr. Aurora's lifeless body was recovered, everyone was aghast. His entire body was swollen, bloated, as if he had drowned. Water hyacinth and water lily leaves clung to his skin. "Brother died by drowning, Mr. Aurora's younger sibling," exclaimed voice trembling. "Someone killed him and dumped him here." "It's not what you think, Sir." Mukiaji said, grave. "This is all the work of the water spirit. Believe me, stop the work on this site now, or no one will be safe. Just like you, another city gentleman came here 10 years ago. Due to his one mistake, he has returned." This he, Mukiaji, referred to was the dreaded entity haunting Roshanpur's deepest fears. The village elders exchanged grim glances. The story of the cursed land of the terrifying presence was a chilling reality for them. Shailesh, the grandson of Zamindar, Ranvijay, was a product of a different world he had left. Roshanpur at 5, sent to America for a modern education. Now, 20 years later, he returned brimming with contemporary ideas, fearless and skeptical. "Look, my son," Ranvijay said, concern etched on his face. "We didn't wish for you to return to this village. But since you have, you must abide by our rules, and never ever go near that lake." Shailesh chuckled, "Grandfather, the world has moved on. You're still stuck in old stories. There's some scientific and logical explanation behind all those incidents. When villagers don't understand something, they attribute it to ghosts and spirits. Perhaps, my son, you are right." Ranvijay conceded, though doubt flickered in his eyes. "But this isn't just about one incident. That lake has claimed the lives of countless people. Our belief is that there is something in that lake." 2 days later, Shailesh, camera slung around his neck, set out to explore the village. He was near the cremation ground when he noticed 2 men in a wild patch of land, stirring something in a large cauldron. A sweet, rich fragrance wafted towards him, drawing him in. "Cooking here in this secluded spot," Shailesh mused aloud. "Looks like there's going to be a feast," the smell suggests. "Some delicious dish is being prepared." He approached the men. "What are you cooking?" he asked, peering in. "Oh, wow, it's full of modichur lattice. Do you know they're my favorites?" Shailesh continued to chatter, oblivious, but the men, grim-faced, continued their silent work. Suddenly, Shailesh, without a second thought, reached into the cauldron, plucked a laddu and popped it into his mouth. The men's hands froze, their eyes wide with shock and horror fixed on Shailesh. "What have you done?" One gasped, voice tight. "If you don't know about village customs, is it necessary to stick your nose into everything you have invited? A great misfortune. God knows what will happen now." Without another word, the 2 men seized Shailesh and dragged him directly to Ranvijay's Haveli. "Do you even know what your grandson has done?" they demanded, trembling. "We were preparing the offering outside the village, and he came and defiled it. Now the wrath of the water spirit will descend upon this village, and you and your educated, ignorant grandson will be responsible." Ranvijay, with his quiet authority, managed to pacify the villagers. After they left, Shailesh was still puzzled. "Grandfather, will you tell me what's going on?" he asked. "The lattice you saw them making," Ranvijay began. "They weren't for any feast. They were an offering for the water spirit. When we lack the power to fight certain forces, it is best to appease them with their favorite things, that is for the good of everyone." "It was many years ago," Ranvijay continued, his voice low and serious. "I must have been around 20. My father was the Zamindar. One day, Harya, a villager, came to my father asking for a loan. He had nothing left to mortgage. My father refused. That day, after leaving our house, He never returned home. The next morning, his body was found in the village lake. Some people say that even before Harya, cows and buffaloes used to drown, but after his death, it was as if the lake was cursed. Now more humans started drowning than animals. Everyone in the village knows how to swim, and the lake was not very deep, but slowly strange incidents began to surface. One day, 3 children went swimming. They played all day. Losing track of time and dusk fell suddenly. All 3 disappeared. Their mother Rama found them sitting on the shore, faces hidden. She called their names, and they, still with faces down, looked at her with a sidelong glance. "Is this the time to play? Come home." Hearing her voice, they laughed merrily and ran towards the lake, splashing water. When they didn't come out, Rama ran towards the lake to get them. Rama went towards the lake but never returned. The next day, the bodies of Rama and her 3 children were found floating in the lake. Rama was the wife of the same Harya. Within a year, all 3 of his children and his wife had been swallowed by the lake. These incidents did not stop. One after another, people began to disappear into the lake. The lake, calm during the day, would turn into a devil at night. Whoever went near it would only have news of their death the next day. One day, my mother woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. "I saw that Harya taking my sons with him," she cried. "My heart is pounding whenever that Harya appears in my dreams. Some misfortune surely befalls the village, and this time he appeared with my sons." My elder brother had gone to a wedding at that time. The next morning, chaos erupted. My brother's body was found floating in the lake. My father couldn't believe his eyes. How and why my brother reached the lake at night, no one could understand. My father couldn't bear the shock and passed away within a few days. The villagers said that the water spirit had taken over the village lake, and it was hunting people to satisfy its hunger. My mother started blaming herself. The priest suggested a solution. Every year, the villagers should offer a bog to the water spirit and pray for the safety of their families. That's why the entire village collects donations and prepares the bog behind the cremation ground. While preparing this bog, no one is to speak, nor is it to be defiled. Without a sound, the villagers quietly place it at the edge of the lake. Since this bog started being offered, the chain of death stopped. And now, after all these years, you have broken this tradition. The one who was calm for so many years, what if he awakens again? It was nothing, Grandfather Shailesh scoffed, still disbelieving. Does a spirit get appeased by eating such lattice? Those were all accidents which you all turned into a water spirit. I will go to the lake myself this evening and see what happens. If there is a water spirit, I will bring its video and photos. One should also see the face of the water spirit that everyone has been afraid of for so many years. Ranvijay Singh had no faith in Shailesh's words. That night he slept with his grandson, hoping to keep him from his reckless plan. But in the late hours of the night, Shailesh, restless and determined, slipped out and made his way towards the lake. It was summer, but as Shailesh approached the lake, an intense cold permeated the air. A shiver ran down his spine, a jolt of goosebumps covering his body. He felt an inexplicable pull, an irresistible magnetism drawing him closer to the water. He was in a trance, hypnotized by the chilling allure. Within moments, he found himself in the lake, his feet sinking as if into quicksand. Shailesh could not move the more. He struggled. The deeper he sank into the murky depths. Soon his entire body went numb. A powerful unseen force had seized him, pinning him down. Then, a terrifying specter emerged from the depths of the lake. Its form monstrous, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. With a sudden violent tug, it dragged Shailesh beneath the surface. The lake water within moments turned a gruesome crimson, and then Ranvijay's body floated to the surface. Lifeless, his face a contorted mask of terror. The death of another lamp from Ranvijay's family extinguished it. Was now unequivocally clear there was indeed a water spirit in the lake. And it was none other than Harya, who after his death had transformed into the water spirit, tormenting the villagers. I think the power of that water spirit comes from the lake water itself, a distraught villager ventured. If there is no water in the lake, perhaps this water spirit will also leave. Zamindar Babu, another, pleaded. Please fill this lake. What has happened cannot be changed, but at least future generations will be free from this fear. To get rid of the water, Spirit the villagers with the Zamindar's permission filled the lake, and indeed the gruesome death stopped. The villagers, however, still considered the land cursed and avoided going near it. The site of the filled lake remained untouched, a silent testament to the terror it once held. Since the lake was filled, the chain of deaths in the village stopped. Muhiaji recounted to Mr. Aurora's younger brother, his voice somber, "But you people have once again put blood on his mouth." "There is still time, sir. Save your lives and leave this place." After hearing the harrowing accounts from Mukhia Ji and the other villagers, Mr. Arora's younger brother finally convinced Awa, ordered the construction work on the site to cease. For several years, the imposing half-built structure stood as a desolate monument to hubris and terror, a stark reminder of the horrors that lurked beneath the veneer of progress. After a few years, such a prime location property just lying there as a ruin, Mr. Vikas, a new ambitious developer, said to his associate, "Talk to the Aurora brothers. We will buy this building." The cycle, it seemed, was destined to repeat. The Siren's curse, patiently waiting, always found new ears to whisper its deadly song, to luring them with the promise of wealth, only to drag them down into the icy, watery embrace of eternal horror. The end. This story has now come to an end. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more thrilling and interesting horror stories, then don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel. Thank you for watching my video.